Hello YouTube, welcome back to my channel, and in this video I'll be unboxing Samsung's new flagship phone for 2018, the Samsung Galaxy S9, and I am really looking forward to using this phone. Now those of you who follow me on a long-term basis, you know that I have my Samsung Galaxy S8 with me, and I've been posting quite a few videos ever since last year when this phone came out. It has turned out to be a good solid device from Samsung, unlike my experience with the S6 Edge a couple of years ago, where I was extremely frustrated with the performance on the S6 Edge. But ever since then, Samsung have made significant improvements to the performance side, and the TouchWiz is now called Samsung Experience, and this is what I've been using on the S8, and they've been updating the phone quite regularly in the last 1 year. Every few months I get an update, and performance has been very solid, if not the very best. Phones like OnePlus 5T, OnePlus 5, also the HTC U11, U11 Plus, and a couple of other handsets still outperform the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the S8 Plus flagship phones from last year. However, like I said, Samsung have made significant improvements to the performance division, and that's why I am now fairly satisfied with the Galaxies coming out from Samsung, and I have high hopes from the Samsung Galaxy S9. So let's have a quick look at the box, and let's not waste too much time. And by the way, the good news is that I've got a Samsung Galaxy S9 in coral blue, something which I had a very big problem with last year. They only released the gold and the black color, and that was extremely frustrating, but I'm glad that Samsung have listened to their customers this year, and now the coral blue is available throughout Europe as standard from day one, ever since it's gone on pre-order. Okay, by the way, the Samsung Galaxy S9's official launch date in the UK is 16th of March. I got this about 7 days before the official date. Why? Because I was able to pre-order the device before the 4th of March. If you had done that, then you probably be getting your S9 way before the official 16th of March date. So that's why I got the S9 a bit earlier than expected. This is, by the way, the Samsung Galaxy S9 Duos version, so that means it can take dual SIM as well. Okay, let's very quickly go to the specs at the back, and then we're going to open the box up. As you can see, it's got a 5.8-inch Quad HD Plus Super AMOLED screen. Their screens are one of my favorites, by the way, and I've thoroughly enjoyed my S8 and also my Samsung Galaxy Note 8. It's got super slow motion, 960 FPS at 720p. By the way, the Sony Xperia XZ2 is already beating Samsung on that end, so nothing exceptional, but it's good to see Samsung also stepping up their game. We also have an 8-megapixel autofocus selfie camera, stereo speakers tuned by AKG. So this is one thing I am really happy about. Samsung Galaxy phones have always struggled with sound, and I'm very glad that finally Samsung Galaxy flagship phones have now got stereo speakers. I will be testing the stereo speakers against the HTC U11. As you know, this phone has got pretty much the same setup. You got a bottom firing speaker and a front earpiece, which is the second speaker, and also I'll be testing it against my all-time favorite, the Axon Mini. It's got some very powerful front-facing Dolby Atmos speakers, and those of you who follow me, guys, you must have seen quite a few videos from last year where I compared lots of phones against ZTE's Axon 7 Mini, and these Atmos speakers, Dolby Atmos speakers, are simply unbeatable. I'm pretty sure this will sound better than the S9, but I want to see how much Samsung have improved, and can they keep up with the Axon's front-facing Dolby Atmos speakers. I'll also be testing it against the Samsung Galaxy S8 speaker. As you know, it's only got one bottom-firing speaker, so it'll be interesting to see how much they have improved from last year's Samsung Galaxy S8. Okay, so IP68, water and dust resistance, RS scanning, 64 gigs of memory inside. You can obviously expand it with SD card. 4 gigs of RAM, something again I ideally wanted Samsung to give us 6 gigs. I know on the S9 Plus they got 6 gigs of RAM, but I think it's a bit unfair. Keeping in mind phones like the OnePlus 5, the OnePlus 5T, they're all coming in with 6 or 8 gigs of RAM, so Samsung should have really stepped up. I'm pretty sure with the Exynos chipset inside or the Snapdragon 845, performance is not going to be an issue. 4 GB RAM should still be enough for you, but it's just to have a couple of extra gigs of RAM really helps the day-to-day performance. A wireless charging, obviously charging pad not included, and earphones tuned by AKG, which has been the case since last year, ever since the S8 and the S8 Plus have been released. So without wasting any more time, let's quickly open the box up and see what do we find inside. Okay, so here we go. So let's open the box up, and as you can see, it says here the Samsung Galaxy S9, and I like the new packaging. This from last year, it's been quite nice. So let's open this up. says Samsung Galaxy S9, and we get the SIM ejector tool as usual, and also should have some documentation there as well, which is quite nice. So I will leave that alone for now. I know most of you are not interested. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S9 in coral blue color. Okay, say it looks nice. I like the form factor. I like the dual curve design by Samsung, and as we all know, they are the market leaders when it comes to this design. And the one thing I love about the S8 and also the S9, the way you can so easily hold them both with one hand despite having big 5.8-inch screen. Let me just turn the S9 on, and then we'll have a quick comparison with the Samsung Galaxy S8, and we'll see how it goes. So whilst it boots up, secured by Knox, so well done. Security wise, we are like quite up to date. So let's remove the back packaging as well. There we go, and then we remove this information which we don't need. There we go. So this is the Samsung Galaxy S9 in its full glory with the coral blue color. And to be honest, this coral blue is slightly different from one we had last year. I think this is a bit more on the darker side, whereas the coral blue from last year was a bit on the light side. But regardless, it looks very graceful.
Continue holding the screen with 2 fingers until you hear a beep.
Okay, already it seems to me as if got a very modern smartphone with high-tech hardware and software inside, and it's talking to me already. Okay, so let's put the phone away for just a moment. You can keep looking at the color, and let's quickly have a look and see what else do we have in the box. Okay, so putting more packaging, putting it away, and as you can see guys, so this is the fast charger. It's got an output of a 9 volt and 1.6 amp, and also 5 volt and 2 amp, so it's a fast charger. Still Samsung are not going up to QC3 or QC4, and the reasons are obviously obvious because of what happened with the Note 7. Ever since then, Samsung have been very careful with the battery sizes and also with the charging speed, but still it will charge your phone fast enough, I'm pretty sure. The same charger I'm using on the Samsung Galaxy S8 and the Note 8. Okay, so what else do we have then? Alright, so this is the Type C USB cable. Glad to see that we have Type C on the Galaxies, same as we had from last year. Okay, and then we have the AKG tuned earphones, not AKG earphones, but AKG tuned earphones. The difference when you say is AKG pair or an AKG tuned. So they are tuned by AKG, and same as we had from last year on the S8, so nothing special. And also we get a couple of nice accessories here. As you guys know, the same as we had from the S8 last year. So this is the Type C to an older Type A. If you got an old charger, you can always plug this in and use the old charger to charge your Samsung Galaxy S9, or this bit here, which will it's got Type C to a USB converter. So if you connect this like that, guys, or maybe like that, okay, should be able to go in though. Yeah, it needs a bit of force. So you can always clip in your USB stick, and you can copy the data back and forth from your Samsung Galaxy S9. Okay, so a nice bit of accessories. What else do we have then in the box? We have got some earbuds as well, guys, as they always ship in where their Galaxy smartphones. Okay, so that's pretty much in the box. So let's get to the phone. Like I said, I want to waste minimum time with the unboxing and play a bit more with the phone instead. So nice lovely color, and the biggest improvement in my opinion is the fingerprint sensor as opposed to the Samsung Galaxy S8. As you can see, I absolutely, and I will repeat, I absolutely passionately hate the fingerprint sensor on the S8 and also on the Note 8. They are at such an awkward position. I've been using the S8 for, guys, nearly a year now, and I'm not still getting used to the fingerprint sensor on the S8. But I'm so glad that it's now at a rather convenient location, a rather more practical and a better location. Hopefully this will be a lot better than what we had on the S8, S8 Plus and the Note 8. So this is quite nice. Also we have a variable aperture on this phone, so it can go all the way up to 1.5 and then down to 2.4 as well, whereas here we had a fixed aperture of f1.7 if I remember correctly on the S8. Also, holding them both side by side, there is hardly any difference I can see, to be honest. Even in terms of weight, they look pretty much the same to me. Even in terms of size, They are exactly the same, and to be honest, you would not be able to see a difference unless you flip them over and then you see, like I said, the back fingerprint sensor, the camera, and the position of the LED light, which is also slightly different from the S8 last year. I think the S9 might be slightly bit heavier. So let's weigh them right now and see if they are the same weight or have we got any different weight in the S9 this time around. So putting first of all the Samsung Galaxy S8 there, you guys, it's about 150 odd grams, as we know from last year. Okay, so putting the Samsung Galaxy S9 now, it seems to me as if it's slightly bit heavier, maybe a few grams more. Yeah, I could tell. So it's about 160 grams, about 10 grams heavier than the Samsung Galaxy S8. But still, they are both very manageable. I still find the S9 very easy to use with one hand. Okay, so now let's quickly go through the setup. UK English, so start. There we go. So what I'll do is I'll configure my Wi-Fi and I will be back in just a moment. Finally, I've come to this fingerprint scanner setup. It's got quite a few options there, as you can see. Setup face recognition, iris scanner, fingerprint sensor, pin, password, or no thank you. So let's try the fingerprint sensor right now and see if it works as Samsung says. And a fingerprint sensor has been an area, like I said, from last year. Has been a bit of an issue where it was wrongly located, in fact controversially wrongly located. I don't know why Samsung kept persisting with it for a year, but I'm so glad that now, as you can see in the camera, the front is just below underneath the camera on the S9, so that now should be far more better. Okay, so let's come up with a pin and do not require, that's fine. So let's go with this very simple one, 1 2 3 4. Continue, 1 2 3 4. Okay, there we go. So now it's asking you to register your fingerprint by swiping, and whilst I do so, you can see here on my iPad and the front camera, and you'll be able to see how quickly it registers and how quickly I should be able to open the fingerprint sensor. So now let's configure this whilst you watch it here on this camera and see how quickly the S9 recognizes my fingerprint sensor. And straight away I can tell you one thing, guys, it's so much easier to find the location of this fingerprint sensor as opposed to what we had on the S8 and the S8 Plus, and it's so much quicker to register as well. So let's add another, and this time around let's add my right index finger. I'm a right-handed person, so this should be even more quicker than the left. As you can see, guys, it's going pretty quick and very convenient and nicely located by Samsung. Thank you very much, Samsung, for listening to this. It was extremely frustrating from last year, and I was quite fed up, to be honest. This is something new. Normally when you set up a fingerprint sensor, Samsung phones do not allow you to test, but right now you can see it says here, try it out. So touch the fingerprint sensor to unlock your phone or verify your identity, and straight away, good job, your fingerprint was recognized straight away without any issues. So let's go to next. Has been set up successfully. More, agree, ignore, skip everything if we can, and let's get to the main screen. I want to see how this fingerprint sensor works before we talk about anything else on the phone. All done, your phone is now ready to use, so nice one. Hey, so we have the Samsung Galaxy S9 set up finally. Okay, so a few things before I test the fingerprint sensor. Oh, by the way, it's already downloading a system update, which is quite nice. I've read about it already. Copy content, no, we don't want to, that's fine. So let's get into software update and download update manually, and let's see if we got a software update here. Okay, it's been installed already, like I was saying. So there we go, it's running Oreo 8.0.0 with Samsung Experience version 9.0, which is the latest Samsung Experience so far from what I know. So not looking too bad. So it's running the latest version of Oreo, not the latest, but keeping in mind it's Samsung, and Samsung, when it comes to major updates, are always a bit behind than the competition. I don't know why, but for some reason they are. Okay, so now let's also change the brightness. Okay, so display settings, and from here I want to remove the auto brightness and keep it on manual. There we go, and full brightness. Here we go. And I tell you what, the screen looks absolutely amazing. And by the way, if you remember, guys, from last year I had a bit of an issue with the S8 where I had a bit of a pink tint, and as of now as we speak, I can't see no pink tint, and I can see some very nice clear white at the back end. So this time around it seems as if it's not going to be the case from last year, where I was quite frustrated. As Samsung did release an OTA update, it improved the phone, but it wasn't still as good as it was on the S7. So I'm happy to report now that on the S9 there is no more pink or blue tint, and as the phones and the whites at the back seems quite nice, and the phone seems to be in a good state as we speak. Okay, so enough of the yep guys, back onto the fingerprint sensor, and let's test it right now and see how it works. There we go, boom, straight away. As you can see, by the way, I'm not looking at the iPad, I'm looking at the phone. So as you can see, there you go, straight away. This is quite fast. It's still not as fast as we have on the Huawei's and the Xiaomi's and the OnePluses of this world, but it's still quite fast. And the good thing is now it is accessible, it's practical, it works, and it's something which should have been here from day one instead of stupidly putting it across on the left side like we had on the Samsung Galaxy S8. I just seem to realize that they got a screen cover on the top, which I didn't take off all this time. So let's quickly take this off. There we go. Sounds so sweet when you unbox a new phone, and it's always so very exciting. Okay, so also let's quickly go through the basics of the phone, which we haven't gone so far. The overall form factor is pretty much the same as we have on the Samsung Galaxy S8. So on the right hand side, this is where we have the power button and nothing across. As you can see down at the bottom, you can see this speaker. This is slightly different from what we had on the Samsung Galaxy S8. As you can see, the speaker on the S8 had more holes to it, like a grill kind of effect, whereas this one is a bit more wider and also a bit more open with no grills or nothing covering at the front. The reason for that is because this time around, for the first time on a Galaxy flagship phone, we have a stereo set of speakers. So you have a bottom firing speaker, and you also have the earpiece on top here acting as the second speaker and giving you this stereo speaker effect. And that's why the speaker is slightly designed differently on the S9. We've got a mic here, Type-C USB, 3.5mm headphone jack, which is now a rarity in smartphone these days, but thanks to Samsung for sticking to a 3.5mm headphone jack, and I'm sure lots of people out there are going to be very happy with that. Also on the left hand side, you got the big speed button along with the volume rocker, and up top here is where your SIMs will go, nano SIMs or your SD card. And this is a hybrid SIM, guys. Like I said, this is the Samsung Duos version, so you can take 2 SIMs or 1 SIM or 1 SD card, as you can see. So pulling the tray out, as it says here, as you can see, SIM 1, SIM 2, or 1 SIM or 1 micro SD card. So it's a hybrid solution. This is the Samsung Galaxy S8 Duos for Europe. Okay, so let's get to now the stereo speaker setup for the first time on a Samsung Galaxy phone, and I am also very excited to find out how good do they sound. So let's get into settings, and then let's get into the sound bit and see if we can play a few ringtones and see how the speakers actually sound. So sound and vibration. So let's get into ringtones. There we go, and let's increase the volume to max. There we go, and see how this sounds. As you can see, it sounds pretty sweet. It sounds a lot better than what it was on the Samsung Galaxy S8 single bottom firing speaker. And just to prove it, let's get into settings and also get into sound on the S8 and see if we can figure out a difference here. I can apparently tell you straight away. Like I said, I've been using the S8 for almost a year now. So let's see if we can find the same ringtones for both the phones and then play them at max volume to see if we can pick up any differences. Have we got any similar ringtones here? We have, yes. Okay, so let's play Constellation on the S8 first. Okay, on the S9 now. Let's do a different ringtone on the S8 now. Okay, S9. I tell you, the one thing I picked up straight away is the sound on the S9. Okay, it's louder as well. It's not as loud as I expected. However, it's a bit more on the heavier side. I can feel a bit more bass on the S9 as opposed to the S8. As it is a bit more lighter, it's not as heavy, but on the S9 you can see the sound has been tuned by AKG and it's a bit more on the bassier side. But when it comes to loudness, I'm yet to do a detailed test, and I promise you guys at some point I will do it. In fact, it won't be some point, and maybe in the next few days I'll be testing that, like I said, the S9 against quite a few other phones, quite accomplished phones like the HTC U11, which also has the same similar stereo speaker setup, bottom firing speaker, and also the earpiece as a second speaker, and specifically against the Exxon 7 Mini, which has a front-facing dual stereo Dolby Atmos speakers. I'm very excited about this video, and I'm sure lots of you watching, especially those people who are interested in stereo speakers, will be absolutely delighted to see if I was to put this video against the Exxon 7 Mini and see how the S9 turns up. So please do stay tuned for this. I promise you I will definitely putting all these phones against the S9, and we'll be testing the speakers on the Samsung Galaxy S9. So whilst we're doing this, let's also quickly check the camera on the Samsung Galaxy S9. And by the way, just a quick brief on the camera. This is a 12 megapixel sensor, but this time around they've got the variable aperture on this, so it can go all the way down to f1.5, which is the largest aperture on any smartphone currently on the planet, and also it can go all the way up to f2.4 aperture. So when it sees or senses low light, it will automatically adjust to a wider and a bigger aperture and give you a clearer picture. Just to demonstrate this, and I want to see, actually, to be honest, I don't know it myself how it's going to behave. At the moment the lighting conditions are fairly good. Okay, on my room it's night time, but I'm under LED lights, so I want to see how these few of the subjects behave with the camera on the S9, and how the S9 actually is able to capture these images. I have left the camera as it is on auto, as you can see. If you go into settings, you will see on the picture side here is on the standard 12 megapixel 4:3, and at the moment on HDR rich tone auto as well. So let's take a photo of this. This is the Centrum Advanced vitamin capsules. So let's have a quick look. There we go. And let's also get into this text here, which is quite difficult to read at this time, but I want to see how good the camera captures it. So there we go. Without tapping on the screen, I'm just going to press this. There we go. And also I got here the cjunaid current voltage monitor, so let's take a picture of that as well, keeping this a bit away. There we go. And all right, so a bit more closer to capture this color. And also let's do a bokeh, see if you can do it, and the camera should be able to do that automatically by itself. I'll keep I tell you what, I'll keep this in the background, and I will keep the Centrum here at the front, and then I will see if it's able to give us that bokeh effect or not without tapping on the screen. Okay, so there we go. All right, boom. Okay, so now let's have a look at the pictures of what we've taken so far. Okay, without adjusting any settings or anything else, you can see this is the Bouquet Photo. You can see a bit of blur background, the cjunaid. It wasn't that far away, but still the camera was able to focus this bit here. I can see it's not looking too bad. Like I said, it's nighttime. The lighting conditions are quite difficult, but you can see the camera has done quite well despite having difficult lighting conditions. If you zoom in all the way, you can even read the text at the back, which is quite nice. Okay, this image here, obviously this is the easy one. You can see cjunaid blue and the current voltage monitor, no problems here whatsoever, and so to here as well. So zooming in, and the image is quite nice. So here the text was a bit difficult to read, so let's zoom in all the way, and I tell you what, they've done a very good job. Everything is so obvious and so easy to read, and the text, especially in the black and the bold one, is quite punchy, and you're able to read it quite nicely. Even these ingredients at the bottom, you can see every single alphabet, every single word is very easily readable. So nice one, Samsung, on this. And here as well, the picture looks quite nice, zooming in all the way, and still it's very clear. And as most of you guys know, especially those who own the Samsung Galaxy phones, Samsung will always have one of the best cameras on the market. I have found Samsung Galaxy phones to be a bit more consistent in experience, especially when it comes to video. I do shoot a lot of YouTube videos, as you guys know, and every now and then I'm using a Samsung Galaxy phone to shoot my video. This video right now has been shot with the Samsung Galaxy Note 8. As you can tell, the focusing speeds and everything else is so nice. You don't even need a DSLR to shoot a decent YouTube video. You can easily do it with a Galaxy phone. I've used Pixels in the past for my YouTube videos as well. I've used DSLR cameras. I also used this DSLR, you can see Canon 750D, the Rebel T6i. I also use this for my videos as well, but I found in general Samsung Galaxy smartphones are very capable. They have great potential, and you can run a YouTube channel even with a Samsung Galaxy phone only without much of an issue. So guys, this is pretty much it from me on the Samsung Galaxy S9. This was an unboxing. I want to speak so much about the phone, about everything else, the stereo speakers by AKG, and also the camera, but please do stay tuned. There's plenty to come in the next few weeks. I'm also testing the LE Phone U Pro, which I unboxed on my channel just a few days ago, and also the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus. There's plenty for me to do, guys, in the next few weeks, so please do bear with me. I'm almost nearly finished with the battery life on the Xiaomi Redmi 5 Plus, and then LE Phone U Pro's battery life is next, and that'll be followed soon by the battery life on the Samsung Galaxy S9. If you like my video, guys, please give it a thumbs up. Any questions, please feel free to ask me in the comment section. And like always, please subscribe as it helps, and I shall see you in the next video.